So this is a video on your probability test that you just took. For all the corrections you make, I'm going to give half credit back. So we're going to start with number 1, and it says, a bag contains 4 white marbles, 9 black, 6 red. Find the probability for not choosing not black. So here in the answers, not black is the complement. So there are 6 red and 4 white. So that's 10 out of 19, or 0.53. Number 2 is find the number of possible phone numbers for each of the following conditions. A 10-digit phone number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 10 options for that first number. You could have picked 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. That's 10 options, and you can repeat all the numbers. So 10 options for each space for a phone number. So that's 10 to the 10th. And that would have been your answers, so 10 zeros. The next one is an 814 telephone number. That means the first number has to be an 8. So you have one option for 8, you have one option for 1, and you have one option for 4. You still have 10 options for all the other digits. So it's 10 to the 7th. And then the next one, it asked how many vehicles are possible if you choose one of each. 2 transmissions, 7 body styles, and 4 engines. You just multiply all your options together to get 56. Number 4, it says there are digits 0 through 9 randomly selected. So that right there is 10 options. It says find the probability. The first number is a 3. Well, that's one option out of 10. The second number is a 2 or a 1. Well, that's 2 options out of 10. And the third number is a 6. So, so the third number is a 6. So that's 1 out of 10 as well. So your answer should be 1 out of 500, and I just corrected that. So there's a few of you that I'm going to have to go back and give you a point for that. Because I remember seeing it on a few people's, and that's why it makes sense now. Okay, so I'll give you that point back. Number 5, they want you to randomly select a point in this circle. So you have to find the area of the circles out of the entire area. Well, if the radius is 4, that means the diameter is 8. So it's an 8 by 4, 4, 4, 4, and 8 by 16. So the total area is an 8 by 16. The area of a circle is pi r squared, but there's 2 circles, so that's why we multiply it by 2. The radius is 4, so it's 16 pi and then 2. Well, if there's a 16 on the bottom and the top, I'm just going to eliminate it. You're left with 2 pi over 8. Eliminate that. It's a fourth, which is about 0.78. Okay, number 6, I told you guys to skip because the formatting when transitioning to Google didn't work. So we're starting with 6 down here. What's the probability of a 5? Well, that's 4 options out of 52. So you can reduce it, or I took 4 out of 52. How many red are in a deck? Well, there's 13 diamonds and 13 hearts. That's 26 out of 52. How many diamonds? That's 13 out of 52. What's the probability you pull a card out of a deck and it's red and it's a king? Well, there's the king of hearts, there's the king of diamonds. So that's 2 out of 52. Preferably you'd reduce that. What's the probability it's a 10 or it's a queen? So there are 4 10s, there are 4 queens, so that's 8 cards out of 52. A queen can never be a 10, so you didn't count any cards twice, and I reduced it. Number 14, what's the probability you pull a card out of a deck? It's a 10 and it's also a queen. That can never happen. A 10 can never be a queen, so it's 0. 15, what's the probability it's a club or it's a king? Well, there is 13 clubs. There is 4 kings. However, are there any kings that are clubs? There is a 1 king of clubs, so you'll end up with 16 over 52, and then you reduce it if you can. And then 16, how many cards are red or a face card? Well, we know there's 26 red cards. We know there's 12 face cards. How many red cards are face cards? Meaning king, queen, and jack. Well, there's a king of hearts, queen of hearts, jack of hearts, and a jack of diamonds, queen of diamonds, king of diamonds. So that's 6 cards that were counted twice. So you remove it and you get 32, then reduces to 8 out of 13. The sum of all the probabilities in a sample space is 100%. It means all your options. If an event must occur, it has a probability of 1 or 100%. If an event is impossible, it has a probability of 0. It says a number cube is rolled and 2 coins are tossed. Find the probability that the number on the cube is greater than 4 and both are tails. Well, to be greater than 4, you're 5 and 6, which is 2 options out of 6. To get tails, it's 1/2. When you do something and then do something and then do something, you multiply all your ways together. That's the fundamental counting principle, and you get 1/12. If this is going too fast or you don't understand it, rewind and listen to it again. B says the number on the cube is less than 3 and the coins show the same size. Well, if you're less than 3, same sides would be tails or heads. So less than 3 is 2 options. Tails is 1 option, tails is 1 option. Less than 3 is 2 out of 6. Heads is this, heads is this. So this is going to be 1/12. This is going to be 1/12. Add them together. That's 1/6. So when they say same sides, you have to think, well, what's all same sides? Tails, tails, heads, heads. Okay, 22. A bag contains 6 red, 10 yellow, and 3 blue. That's 19 marbles. 2 marbles are drawn without replacement. Find the probability of each event. A yellow, then a blue, and a yellow, then a yellow. So if I take a yellow marble, that's 10 out of 19, and then there's 3 blue marbles, but now there's 18 marbles, and there's no longer 19. Multiply, it'll reduce to 5 over 57. If I pull a yellow out of the bag, that's 10 out of 19. That means there's only 9 yellow left out of 18 left. So it's 15 out of 57. This you've done before. It says, if you roll a number cube and get a 2, what's the probability you roll it again and get a 5? Well, it would still be 1 out of 6. Rolling a 2 prior would have no effect on the 5. If you roll a 2 and then you roll a 5, what's the probability you roll a 2? It's still, I'm sorry, not 1 out of 5. It's still 1 out of 6. Your probabilities don't change because when you re-roll the dice, it's like you're resetting it. And then they said, how many different ways can you name the hexagon Ursula? So looking at your shape, you could decide to use U first or R first or S first. You had 6 options to start with. Once you pick a letter, then you have 5 letters left, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. You multiply your ways together, that's 720. Okay, so this is your last assignment. Do you have to do test corrections? No. But if you'd like your points back, you can. Type them in an email and send them to me. And then last you have to do is I'm going to have an optional assignment. And that's it.